Good evening, everybody. This is Steve Fletcher with the Trumpet for My People. Today is December 16th, 2018. And I wanted to share some information with you guys that I've been thinking about over the last couple days, and connections between the revelation of Barack Obama as the Antichrist and events that have taken place during this time of Barack Obama on Hanukkah, and especially on Kislev 24. There have been some major events that have taken place on Kislev 24 and on Hanukkah that have been a part of the understanding of Barack Obama as the Antichrist. So if we go back to Hanukkah in 2007, this was Barack Obama was now a candidate to become president, and he was introduced by Oprah Winfrey in South Carolina, and she presented Barack Obama as the one. Okay, that is really a Messiah moment where he is introduced as the one that we have waited for, the one who can do it. And Jesus Christ is called, he's the one. Jesus is the one true God. And so the Messiah is always usurping the place. The Antichrist is instead of Christ. So he wants to take the place of Jesus Christ. Well, here on Hanukkah in 2007, he was presented as the one. We know that Barack Obama received the Nobel Peace Prize award on Hanukkah Eve in 2009. It was on Hanukkah Eve 2009. On this day that Barack Obama won the award, actually received the award, he was in Norway. The prize is given in Norway. And it was on the same day, in the same location, that there was this spiral that was seen over Norway. So this, just letting you know that not only did Barack Obama receive the Nobel Peace Prize, he received it on Hanukkah Eve. This was him, part of the timeline and part of the understanding of Barack Obama coming into power on the world stage, receiving the Nobel Peace Prize. It was in 2014, after the Sandy Hook shooting, that Obama was weeping for the children in 2014 on Hanukkah. So this is a telling moment because, number one, it was proven later that no children died at Sandy Hook. So this was a big show. It's a big show, and he was supposedly crying because of the kids that died, and then they were pushing for gun control. So this happened on Hanukkah. This is an interesting moment. Now, here is another moment that most people don't relate this connection, but the vote against Jerusalem on Hanukkah Eve in 2016, this was December 23rd. In 2016, Hanukkah was from December 24th through December 31st, okay, and or through January 1st. So this vote that took place against Jerusalem was on Hanukkah Eve. This is a Kislev 24 moment right here. This is a Kislev 24 moment right here where the United Nations stood against Jerusalem. So very important. Jerusalem is God's time clock, and if there's something going on in Jerusalem, we need to understand how this could possibly relate to God's feast days and the signs that God is wanting to leave for us. So here's a connection that we need to understand. If we go back, okay, this vote against Jerusalem was Hanukkah Eve in 2016, and Barack Obama's Nobel Peace Prize Award was Hanukkah Eve in 2009. So from Obama's Nobel Peace Prize Award on Hanukkah Eve in 2009 to the vote against Jerusalem, Hanukkah Eve 2016, it was 7 years to the day on the Hebrew calendar. Both of these events took place on Kislev 24. Now, the other thing that we need to remember is that in the middle of this week, there was a covenant that was made between Barack Obama and Israel. It's called the Unbreakable Alliance. When Barack Obama went to Israel in 2013, he went there and signed an alliance with Israel. Israel signed an alliance with the Antichrist. It was called the Unbreakable Alliance, where Barack Obama vowed to protect, to save, and to stand with Israel forever. It's an unbreakable alliance. Well, it was this promise that was made on Nisan 10, the day of the triumphal entry in 2013, when Barack Obama went to the Church of the Nativity, was in Israel, and then after he left Israel, went to Petra as another sign of the fleeing from Jerusalem into Petra. On the same trip, the next day, after the trip to the Church of the Nativity, Barack Obama visited Petra. And so it was here in Israel that they signed a covenant, and it was 3.5 years later, after the signing of the covenant, that the covenant was broken on Hanukkah Eve, because this was the time where Barack Obama failed to veto. Barack Obama cast the deciding vote by failing to veto the vote against Jerusalem. He allowed the vote against Jerusalem to go through. Okay? And so this is a very important moment within not only the signs of Hanukkah in Kislev 24, but it's a 7-year marker from the Nobel Peace Prize. And there was a midweek covenant that took place, if you want to call that the abomination event, because Israel signed an agreement with the Antichrist. If that is not an abomination, the abomination of desolation, with Israel receiving the Antichrist, signing a covenant with the Antichrist. Well, both of these events were on Kislev 24. I wanted to bring that to your attention. Okay. In 2017, we had two very important signs on Hanukkah. Two very important signs on Hanukkah in 2017. The first sign was on the first day of Hanukkah, where 57 Muslim nations came together and declared that Jerusalem was the capital of Palestine. Okay, so they're countering the Trump declaration that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. And they came together to declare Jerusalem as the capital of Palestine. This was the first day of Hanukkah. Then, on the last day of Hanukkah, which was the winter solstice, December 21st, 2017, it was the vote to declare unconstitutional or was not approved by the United Nations, the Trump declaration that Jerusalem was the capital of Israel. This is not going over Jerusalem is not going to be the capital of Israel. And so this was a vote that took place, very important vote that showed that the world is standing against, okay, the world is standing against against Israel. And both of these signs came on Hanukkah, the first and last days of Hanukkah in 2017. Now, this is something that most people don't know, or I would say most people don't know, right? But here's an interesting detail, that it was on the first day of Hanukkah in 165 BC, okay, that Judah Maccabee delivered Jerusalem. They overtook the Greeks. They overtook the Greeks, the Greek army, and they took back Jerusalem, and then they dedicated their temple starting on Hanukkah Eve, Kislev 24 in 165 BC. The person who did that was Judah Maccabee. He delivered Jerusalem on Kislev 24, 165 BC. Then it was in 1917 that General Allenby delivered Jerusalem on Kislev 24, 1917. Okay, they both delivered Jerusalem on Kislev 24, and it's interesting that both of the names sound alike. Judah Maccabee, General Allenby. It's like he's from the lineage of the Maccabees, General Allenby, Judah Maccabee. So they have both of the names are similar, and they both did similar things. They delivered Jerusalem on Kislev 24. Very important sign on Kislev 24. Remember back in 2013, Comet Ison and the perihelion event on what was Hanukkah and Thanksgiving, and Comet Ison, the sign of the sun. Comet Ison, the sign of the sun, and how the entire world was watching Comet Ison and what would happen, and the photos that were coming out were spectacular, and this was an amazing time throughout the year that there was so much focus on Comet Ison. And then we had the studies of the disasters and the omen that is comets, and how comets, every time there are comets that come, right, there are great disasters that overtake the world. The comets are omens of disasters coming upon the world. Well, this date of Comet Ison was Kislev 24, a very important sign in 2013. Kislev 24. So we've got a pattern here of all these things that are happening on Kislev 24. Okay. This year in Kislev 24, December 31st through January 1st, we have a list of very important things that are coming together. A very important list that is really, coming together as a very important sign that we may be arriving at the day of the rapture of the church, the beginning of Hanukkah and the end of 2018. But let me read to you this list of things that we've put together on Kislev 24, December 31st through January 1st. First thing we see, it is the 365th day of the year, and that may be a sign of rapture from the life of Enoch. Enoch was raptured on the 365th year of his life. So that may be a sign of rapture on the last day of the year. Then we have Midnight of Midnights, the final day of the year, and the whole world watching midnight and wanting to bring in the new year. And this is a sign of the 10 virgins. It's a sign of the 10 virgins. That also going together with the oil of Hanukkah. Enoch is also a sign of Hanukkah because the name Enoch means dedication. And Hanukkah is dedication, the feast of dedication. So we have a lot of things coming together within those two items. Then we have New Year's Eve, everyone eating and drinking as in the days of Noah. And it also says in Matthew chapter 24 that your flight may not be in winter. And this is the dead of winter. The December 31st, January 1st, that marks the dead of winter. Then we have a very interesting detail that has been found. I shared this first, and then others have shared it. I don't know if others had shared this before me, but when I saw this, I shared that the first government meeting of Israel's newly formed government after 1948, their first meeting was on January 1st, 1949. And so if we go from January 1st, 1949, and we add 70 years, it brings us to January 1st, 2019. That is another 70-year marker within the birth of Israel. And this is the first documented meeting of Israel's new government was January 1st, 1949. Very important 70-year marker. Another detail we have is that it's 711 days from Trump inauguration to 1119 to January 1st, 2009, 711 days. We know that Trump changed 9/11 to 7/11. Trump said he was there on 7/11 when the towers fell. So we have a 7/11, 9/11 conjunction, 711 days from the Trump inauguration, and 1119 in reverse is 9111. So we have a very interesting connection of numbers on January 1st. Another thing that we have found is that 322 days from the Obama portrait unveiling on February 12th, 2018, 322 days, the skull and bones mark 322. And then the other thing that we have seen, 923 is a symbol or a sign that has been put together. Hundreds of videos have been done on the importance of 923 and how 923 is always shown in movies. And leading up to the September 23rd, 2017 sign, the Revelation 12 sign on September 23rd, this information came out, was extremely documented. And so 923 is interesting as it connects to Kislev 24 because Kislev is the 9th month, and the 24th day of Kislev is the day after 923. So we have a connection between 923 and 924, being that it's like midnight of one day and the next day beginning, and there's a cutoff in between these 2 days. The day of it's like the day of Satan and the day of the Lord at the same time, or as the clock strikes midnight at 923, 924. And then we have on January 1st, we have a conjunction with the moon and Venus at 2 p.m. Israel, which translates 14 hours past midnight. And if you go backwards 14 hours from Israel time, you will come to Baker Island, and that is the last time zone on Earth. And that is where 2018 will end, on Baker Island. So it's a 14-hour difference. So the Moon-Venus conjunction at last midnight on January 1st, 2 p.m. Israel time. And putting this together with the full sign of Barack Obama and the Nobel Peace Prize. Barack Obama won the Nobel Award on Kislev 24 in 2009, but he received his nomination on another biblical day, which is the seventh day of Tabernacles, Tishri 21, October 9th, 2009, the seventh day of Tabernacles. Written within Haggai chapter 2, these are the 2 days that are written for the shaking of the heavens and the earth. In Haggai chapter 2, verses 1 and 6, we will see that the shaking of the earth is going to be coming on Tishri 21, the 21st day of the 7th month, 7th day of Tabernacles. And then if we go on and we read in chapter 2, verses 10 and verses 21, we can see that the shaking of the heavens and the earth has been transferred to Kislev 24, the 24th day of the 9th month. Now, both of these dates coincide with the Barack Obama Nobel Peace Prize nomination date, and the award date coincide with what is written in Haggai chapter 2. And as I close this, I wanted to bring one more thing here to your attention. That it is written in Romans 11:25. I do not want you, brethren, to be uninformed of this mystery, so that you will be not wise in your own estimation, that a partial hardening has happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles has come in. The fullness of the Gentiles. So as we look at the clock, and we look at the calendar, and we look at the scripture about the fullness of the Gentiles, maybe this is why the Lord is bringing us to the very end of the year. That we have the Jubilee year, we have the 70th year of Israel, we have the Revelation 12 sign, and we have now all the focus on Jerusalem. And since the beginning of Donald Trump's presidency and the importance that he has placed and the worldwide focus of Jerusalem being at the center of biblical prophecy right now. And all this has been taking place, and yet we're still here at the end of December 2018. But the fullness of the Gentiles will come in. Is this part of the reason why we're looking at the calendar of the Gentiles? And that God is directing us based on the rapture of Enoch on the 365th year of his life, that this may be a clue to the understanding the fullness of the Gentiles, the end of 2018. 2019 is the bringing in of the Great Tribulation, the rapture of the church at the last moment of 2018. Just some things to think about here, and I pray you're blessed tonight. And in just a few minutes, I have another message I want to bring to you about Comet 46P Wirtanen and the constellations that this comet is going to be in. And it's biblical. It's biblical. So I'm going to put that message together and share that next. And so I pray everyone is blessed tonight. This is Steve Fletcher with the trumpet for my people, the sign of his coming revealed.